son of a bitch. Fuck. If you were here for the last unedited episode of the Jury Drunken Opinion, we are recording this right after, and Jeff needs alcohol and a pee so fucking badly.
Bum, 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 bum. Welcome to Sportsnet. My name's Adam.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Nick.
And this week is Sportsnet, the sports podcast about sports, and the sports that are sporty.
With balls?
No athletics allowed.
And you better not bring that hobby called golf into this bullshit.
All right, fine.
Fuck off.
Shit. Fucking leisurely activity, my guy.
If you can drink alcohol during it, it's not an athletic.
I never said it was. I just enjoy it. Because I'm hammered during most of it. It takes 5 hours to play, and I can be drunk as shit for 4 of them.
Take Jello shots in little cups next time you play that. Because I gotta say, these are
probably
quite splendid.
I'm gonna have to do all the Jello shots on like hole 3 because the first 2 holes are usually like regulated by someone, and hole 3 it's gonna be questionable if they're still like a somewhat solid substance.
This is quite pleasant.
Cool. I'm drinking the Copper Can Moscow Mule that Grace left here.
Yeah, pretty good. Sounds like it. I'm drinking. So I had a viewer here when I told Nick this. So I got Fireball, but I poured caramel vodka in it and nothing else. So I have Fireball mixed with caramel vodka.
How is it?
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. Let's find out.
Yeah, let's
find out together.
All right, cheers.
That's pretty fucking amazing. That might be my new go-to thing. That is phenomenally great, actually. Round 2.
All right. Well, I'm
also drinking Bush. Fuck you guys for on both episodes trying to cut me off of what I'm drinking. I'm just enjoying my life.
I am consuming Jello shots of
large amounts of copious dicks. Copious also means a lot, but fuck it.
I'm drinking.
He's consuming a large amount of copious dicks, which means he's assuming a lot of dicks.
Yeah,
Nick can fit more dicks in his mouth than the Titanic could fit lifeboats.
Let's find out how many lifeboats the Titanic had.
Well, there's a difference.
Not enough.
There's a difference between the amount of boats the Titanic could fit and how many they had, because those are 2 different numbers.
Could the Titanic fit? It says the second crucial safety lapse that contributed to the loss of so many lives was that the inadequate number of lifeboats carried in the Titanic. A mere 16 boats plus 4 Engelhart collapsibles could accommodate just 1,178 people. Could the Titanic hold? It could carry 64. It had 16.
So, Nick, you have more than 64 penises in your mouth.
This is wild. In short, what I was trying to say before, I'm eating Jello shots of unnamed origin. Actually, I know where they come from. I just don't know where they're made out of.
Nick's the next Riley Reid.
Do you think Tesla would put roofies in these? Just knowing that I'd eat them?
What? I would if I would. I mean, you know,
it depends on how close she is to Bill Cosby.
Sorry, let's put this out there. Disclaimer: roofing people not okay. Roofing Nick in his own house when he's gonna eat him by himself. Also hilarious.
Nick's not a person.
I don't have rights.
Roofing people for your own personal gain, wrong. Roofing Nick in his own household just for it to be funny and him fall asleep out of nowhere, perfect.
Anyway, I'm on my 3rd Jello shot, so we're gonna see how this goes.
Well, yeah. If Nick gets very drunk by the end of this episode, Nick gets to edit this episode.
They can't be that strong, right?
Who knows? I guess you'll find out when you get a message. Hey, Nick, I've left the episode in our Dropbox for you.
I don't feel intoxicated yet. Granted, I just had all three in about 5 minutes. So
anyway, welcome to the Sportsnet podcast. Just kidding. Where you hate to see it.
You said that with
Which
such
is better
enthusiasm.
Where you hate to see it. Well, we can't be overly entertaining, Nick. We have to fucking be here.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
You just gotta exist.
But I have 3 more Jello shots for a podcast that's supposed to be overly entertaining.
Yeah, use those on Andy's.
Anyone else's, actually. Any other podcast.
Yeah, right.
I think that's it, actually. If
I
you want to
did-
do the outro now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I did get these from Shannon, and I'm still not convinced she didn't leave that review. So
No, we know the person's name. I don't remember what it is.
I mean, yeah, but it's a
you can make
username.
yeah, she
Yeah,
could
I
have
can-
made an alternate account and just
I
left
can
that.
literally put in Billy Bob Joe in anything, and then
that
put
is
a
your
review.
that is your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that in America.
So welcome,
whatever your URL is.
Oh God.
welcome to You Hate to See It, a podcast hosted by Adam, Nick, and Billy Bob Joe.
Woo. Oh
Put a
God.
splash of beer in here. You think?
Hey,
it'll be
these,
good?
uh, These Jello shots are starting to creep up.
Okay.
I don't think it's creeping up. They set in within 5 minutes of you taking them, Nick. It's not creeping up. It's an immediate effect, actually. You fucking moron. Hey, we have topics for this because
That's a good
I'm just
question.
gonna I'm just gonna trash Nick the entire time if you
No,
want.
hold on. I think
So-
we should have topics. I don't want this.
Hold on. Topic 1: the Chicago Bears put up a
All
total
right.
of 47 fucking total yards on offense.
I don't know why you
Hold
need
on,
to
let
come
me
in at
make
me
sh-
like this.
Let me make sure this is correct. So, Bears v Browns. Let me check this real quick. Stat line as a team. 47 total fucking yards. Hey, Nick, guess how many passing yards they had?
Not enough.
Just guess. Well, I mean, clearly, if you have 47 total, you don't have enough fucking passing
I
yards.
don't know. 50.
50 of them. So you think they had 50 passing yards with 47 total offensive yards?
Yes.
They had one.
I'm gonna kill myself.
One passing yard. Justin Fields' stat line shows, let me look at this, 68 total passing yards. His receivers literally had to catch the ball and run behind the line of scrimmage for them to have one total passing yard. Unless they take sacks into account now, and like sacks now count as negative passing yards, which wasn't a thing from the last time I knew, but I guess maybe that's the thing now. But he was sacked like 4.5. By Myles Garrett alone, he was sacked 4.5 times. That is one player on the defensive team that he was sacked 4.5 times.
Just gotta.
That is all. That's all I really wanted to put in with NFL talk. That's Jeff's NFL corner. Anytime
well,
the Bears do something absolutely atrocious,
I would
will
like
throw
to
that in
point
there.
out part of the whole Sportsnet blurb at the beginning was for you to talk about your trip to the football game, but
Oh!
That did happen.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was also a great game for Jeff.
That
So
was a
Jeff
fun
is
game. I
big-
also enjoyed that game.
Jeff, big Rams fan. And we went to the Colts Rams game, and Cooper Kupp caught 2 touchdowns, one of them being the one that defeated the Colts. Also, we need to talk about how Carson Wentz got both ankles snapped over his fucking head in one play. I didn't see it because we were in the upper deck. Didn't really see it when it happened, but when I came back home and on Monday, when I watched the replay, because they said Carson Wentz has 2 high ankle sprains, and they put the replay of where his ankle sprains came from. That no human being, let alone someone his height, should be able to bend in the ways that he did. I'm surprised he has only 2 ankle sprains and not a step. Spine, femurs, and neck. Because that shit was, he got tackled into the ground head first, ankles over his head, and sprained only his ankles. It was wild.
talk about that whole weekend. Talk about how that weekend got planned.
So that weekend got planned by
All
Adam
right,
saying
hold
he
on.
was gonna go.
Hold on, Adam. First off, you know I'm gonna get yelled
All right,
at.
so-
Fuck off.
Talk about it. So I've had this planned since probably May. I didn't buy the tickets until later, but in April or May, I decided I wanted to go to the Rams Colts game because it was the closest the Rams would be. So I'm a Rams fan. I always have been since they were in St. Louis. And because I was a huge fan of the show on turf, the greatest show on turf, which is Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, all of them. And because that's what I grew up with and I loved them. And then they moved back to LA. And I never got to see a Rams game when they were in St. Louis because they fucking sucked and I didn't want to go. And so I went through those hard years. I am a diehard Rams fan from the first time I remember watching football to this day. Don't fucking judge me because they're good now. Like I went through the fucking rough 10 years of them being absolute fucking shit. And I decided back in around the time of my birthday, I was like, I want to go to a Rams game, and they're in LA now, and I have no desire to go to California anytime soon.
Fair enough.
And I saw that they were playing I wanted to go to the Bears Rams game, but the Bears were playing them week 1 in LA. Not going to it because I live close to Chicago. Would have been super easy to go to that. Probably, I mean, they'll probably play them soon again in Chicago, probably next year, actually, because I think they play each other every year because they're in the NFC. But so I was like, I want to go soon. And I saw they were playing the Indianapolis Colts, and I was like, I want to go. But didn't buy tickets because of the fact that the Colts were the last team in the NFL to determine that they were going to have fans, let alone be full capacity. So finally, when they did, I bought tickets. And I told people that I was buying tickets. No one else bought tickets, so I bought tickets for Kristen and I. And then Grace and Mandy said they would go, so they bought tickets. And then Colton and his wife set up a thing. Actually, it was before I bought tickets because we had to find tickets all in the same section. Before that, so I asked Colton, who is a Colts fan, my best friend from like my childhood. I asked him, they had just bought a house. He was like, no, we can't afford it right now. And then his wife, like a week or two later, messaged me, hey, I bought tickets to it. I'm going to make it a big surprise for his birthday because his birthday's in August. The game's not till September. So he'll know beforehand. I was like, okay, cool. She's like, yeah, I already bought tickets. I was like, no, I haven't yet. And she's like, I was told you did. And I was like, no, because I didn't think anyone was going to go. And then I was like, okay, so I bought tickets in the same section for me, my fiance, Grace and Mandy. And then a couple weeks, months later, we're having a little shindig in Nick's backyard like we do every once in a while, having a little bonfire. And I'm talking to Nick, and he was like, oh yeah, like football game sounds cool. And then he just buys the ticket while we're just talking. Like, doesn't really tell me. He just buys it. And then he goes, yeah, so I just bought a ticket. And he was like, what section you in? And I was like, 629. He's like, okay. I was like, we're in like row 13. He just buys the ticket and he's like, all right, I'm in seat like 23. And I was like, okay, we have seats like, so he's in seat 23.
I was seat over.
Yeah, he had one seat, but there was a person in between the seats. And we're like,
no, what happened was that I accidentally reserved that seat for an hour. I just wanted to buy the ticket because I was getting drunk, and I'm like, I just bought the seat one over because I had to make like a new Ticketmaster account.
And so he ends up doing that. I'm like, okay, whatever. So your seat over, whatever. Colton and Katie are also a seat over from where we are. So we're in like this weird limbo of like, we don't have all the seats filled to be all in a row. Like, we're going to have people in between us if it's a fully packed game, like full capacity. And Nick just randomly decides that he's going right then and there and buys the ticket in the section after I mentioned that we're in section 629, row 13. Just buys the ticket in that section, bro. And then a week or two later, I also am trying to find an Airbnb because we're going to be there the whole weekend. I'm like, okay, I got to find an Airbnb for 6-7 people, whatever. 6 is like the max to find an Airbnb where they'll allow it before you go into like really fucking large, extravagant Airbnbs that you have to pay fucking an ungodly amount for. Before what I found out, it would have cost like $40 to $50 per person for 2 nights, which was super, super reasonable because like $50 for 2 nights in an Airbnb is super reasonable because fucking hotels are like what, like 100 a night or something, like on average. And then Nick just randomly messages me the next day when I'm at work, or he messaged me the night before, but I'm asleep because I worked at 6 a.m. I'm going to work, and I get to work and I open it, and it's like, hey, by the way, Don bought a ticket to the game. I was like, I literally just got an Airbnb, dude, for like 6 to 7 people. We now have 8. I now have to cancel that Airbnb, get reimbursed, and then find one for 8 people because they will not allow another person. And I was just super pissed. I was like, oh my God. Luckily, Don bought the ticket in between Nick and the rest of us. And Colton and Katie found a way to get the tickets to where they bounced over one to where we were all together. But it was just, oh my God, it was such a fucking shit show to get that all organized.
So Jeff got to witness firsthand how I really don't do well when I'm being yelled at.
Oh,
Jeff,
yeah, I went off.
Yeah, Jeff,
I went off. And then like an hour or two later, I was like, I'm sorry, but like you have to understand, I'm just fucking mad.
Yeah. So I got incredible. So it was after a recording, and I was super drunk after that recording. And I started talking to Don till like 1 a.m. And then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a ticket. And he's like, I swear to God, I mentioned it to him. I didn't tell him to buy a ticket. I just mentioned it to him, and then he asked about tickets. That's how I remember it. Apparently, Don doesn't remember it that way, and I was drunk, so Don wins. So that's how that happened, and then Jeff yelled at me over text, and then I just like stopped talking to him for an hour because I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
The seats weren't great; they were nice. So,
I hated them. I hated every second of them. They were so high up. It was
awful.
Awful.
They were, but it was steep too because the Colts play in a dome. And the way a dome works compared to a normal open top stadium is those seats are usually just spaced out and like kind of normal. Like if you're in the upper deck, you're going to be far from the fucking game. Like you're going to be high and far out. In a dome, you're just fucking high. Like it might look small to you, but you're like almost basically straight up. You're not like out. You're just up.
Like every 10 or so minutes.
You were terrified trying to walk up and down the stairs.
Yeah,
it was pretty fucking. I was too. Like it was kind of scary.
That's
like,
how
damn,
the Arizona Coyotes hockey rink is this like for some reason it's just so straight up, and so like you're trying to walk up and down slanted stairs, and it's fucking sucks.
They're just super steep stairs, is what they are.
Yeah.
And then like every 10 minutes, like I'd get used to like how high it was, and then I'd look over and I'm like, oh, the ceiling.
Yeah, we're really close to the air ducts. The nice thing is it was hot that day.
It's air
but it's air conditioned, and I never. It was so well air conditioned that I never even knew it was until we walked out of the game. I was
really
like,
nice stadium.
It was super nice, but like when I walked outside, I was like, holy fuck, it's hot out here.
Yeah, like I'm really happy I brought a hoodie into the stadium.
Yeah. Did you guys not get like binoculars or anything for the game?
No.
No, it wasn't like that bad. There's also they have 2 huge screens that it's super easy to see.
Granted, one was super far away and one was neck broken to the right.
Yeah.
So I went to the Blackhawks Red Wings Winter Classic game at Wrigley.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
It was so much fun. I was sitting. I'm actually in a newspaper picture. Like you can see my dad. You can't see me, but you can see my dad.
I'm sure we were on TV at some point if you really zoomed in.
Yeah, and so we were sitting next to the scoreboard.
Yeah.
But the rink that they were playing on there was, at home plate, and then there was like a fun rink, and then we were sitting. So they gave everyone that was like a certain distance away from the actual rink free binoculars, like Winter Classic binoculars.
Cool.
To watch the game with.
No, like Jeff said, it was a great time. The Rams won. As someone who is neither a Rams nor a Colts fan, but adamantly anti Peyton Manning, and anti Colt.
The great thing about it is at the halftime of the game we went to is when Peyton Manning and Adrian James got their Hall of Fame busts and rings.
And I just got to sit there brooding. Like I just sat there angrily.
Why don't you like Peyton Manning?
Jeff, would you like to explain? We'll always have 2005.
So 2005 to 2006 is when the Bears went to the Super Bowl last, and they played the Colts, and Peyton Manning single-handedly ripped them apart.
Oh, good thing I'm a Packers fan, so I don't give a shit.
I actually didn't know you were a Packers fan.
Yeah, because the Bears have always sucked.
All right. First off, fuck off.
And I lived in Wisconsin for a while, and the Packers were actually good. So
It's just I don't know.
and then
It was
they've
a
stayed
great game
good.
though.
Yeah,
Like
it was a cool game.
it wasn't a blowout. It went down to the last couple
Yeah.
minutes. We got to see Carson Wentz get folded like a fucking pancake
Don
or
and
like
I,
a tortilla
Don
or
and I had
burrito,
our
however the
brains
fuck you
melted
want.
by two dumb blondes.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. No, we all got that. I also saw that the people sitting in front of us.
Yeah, that fucking Don was fucking saying things.
If you
I've never
want a
heard
bad
come out of Don's
experience
face.
of really, really, really intoxicated human beings sitting like just going to a game, go to the fucking top, the top deck. Go to the upper deck. You'll deal with all the fucking
So,
idiots.
did you see the kid sitting in the row next to us that was on the stairs that like never touched his food and like was just sitting there?
The one
by
guy by himself? Yeah.
Yeah, that was like I'm sitting there. I'm like, God,
Is
that guy's fighting demons.
is Top Deck like nosebleeds and hockey?
Yeah.
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 Like I'm like that kid's fucking fighting.
Great game.
demons.
I overall loved it. Cooper Cup, 2 touchdowns, game-winning touchdown. Fucking great time being a Rams fan over
Colts
here.
lost.
Rams 3-0. 3-0. They just beat the Bucks. So Matt Stafford just beat Tom Brady, and by that I mean most likely the Rams defense beat the shit out of Tom Brady because Aaron Donald and fucking Jalen Ramsey are fucking stupidly broken on the same defense.
It was funny because while you guys were watching the game, Don and I were trying to catch the updates of the Bears game. Like
Yeah.
every time they
yeah. No, I did too. That was when they were playing Cincinnati, right?
Yeah,
Like
it
that
was a really fucking
weird.
it was a wild game because they had that and they almost threw it.
Yeah. And then they got their ass beat. I don't know.
Oh,
It was a great
alright.
time. Overall, great time.
Yeah.
That weekend alone, like if you took out the game, was amazing.
I was
Other than Friday night trying to find a place to eat was awful.
Yeah.
But
it was wild how many people in the stadium had jerseys that had nothing to do with the game. Like I saw
a
Falcons
Cardinals jersey.
I saw
a
Falcons
baseball.
jersey
I saw a baseball Cardinals jersey at a football game
in Indianapolis
for the Colts and the Rams.
It was wild. Like I'm like, what the fuck?
How the fuck does that add up? Like,
Uh,
I'm just gonna throw on a sports team now, and it's like
Ugh.
at least put it in the same fucking sport. Like,
Have you-
goddamn.
Have you seen the there's a video out there of some like blonde chick that knows nothing about sports, and she was at a football game with her sunglasses on upside down. She was holding a thing of broccoli and a big sign that just said "Go Sports," and they went to interview her. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, sports.
And then
Go
her mom
Sports,"
shows up, and her mom
there,
comes
and her
in.
mom's the
Yeah.
Those
exact
might have
same
been the
way.
people in front of Don and I.
And the girl's just like, "Go Sports, have some broccoli," and she just hands the
Those-
stalk of broccoli over.
Here's the funny thing, like Don and I were just whispering to her like for the last entire quarter. It was just Don and I tearing these people a new one while we sat
I was
there.
like, I was trying to hop back around between conversations because so it was Katie, Colton, me, Kristen, Nick, or Don, Nick, and then Grace and Mandy were at the end.
Yeah.
I don't think I talked to them at any point. And I kind of feel bad that they went at all because I feel like they'd not enjoy any second of it because I don't think they understand sports in the first place.
Sports.
But if you do,
Give them
Mandy and
broccoli.
Grace, we know
That'll
you
be great.
listen. So I
Yeah.
mean, let us know, I guess. But
that night was fun because we played Mario Kart and then
I was so
uh,
fucking dead. I
yeah.
wanted to take a nap and wake up and go play Mario Kart, but I just fucking couldn't. I was-
we played
we were up so late the first night that I just
Yeah.
fucking couldn't.
What was
we-
Mario Kart like with 4 people?
a lot of fun. We played Mario Kart, and then we like Grace and Mandy woke up from their nap. They took their shit and left, and then like Don and I went to the garage to sleep because that's where the bunk beds were. Side note, not important, but like that's where we went. And
That's
like
how
before-
our Airbnb was set
yeah,
up.
before that, like Colton, Don, and I, we were doing shots, and then like it's maybe like 12. It's 11 or 12 at night, and like Don and I both laid down. We were about to turn the light off, and like we just hear the door open, and just Colton sticks his head and is like, "Shots," and Don's like, "Is that Colton?" I'm like, "Yeah," and yes. So we just did more shots and talked for like 2 hours.
It was a good time. It was a
a lot
good
of fun.
weekend overall. The only downfall was the Friday night or Saturday night where we were trying to find dinner because we went to 3 different places and none of them had.
We finally just got pizza.
We just ordered pizza and I went and picked it up.
We
and
went to Rosati's, Adam.
Yeah, we got
kept the trend.
Rosati's.
Best pizza.
It was.
Yeah, we
great.
got a bacon pizza in honor of you.
Hell
Mhm.
yeah. It's the best pizza out
I
there.
ate
No
that.
one said yes to ordering it, and I ordered it anyways.
Yep.
If I would have known, I would have given you coupons.
I don't know if
Oh, if they would have worked in
Indy, but-
Indianapolis. Yeah.
Yes, they would have.
Oh.
Wild.
Well,
Well,
shit.
yeah.
Son of a bitch. We should have told Adam. Next time we
Yeah.
order Rosati's, always ask Adam.
Always ask me.
Yeah. Apparently, we just
Um,
need to keep those in like our back pocket.
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
so if
great
you
game.
have, no matter what, if you grab the box top coupon thing, they work at every Rosati's everywhere.
Just to wrap it up, Rams won 27-24, I believe, or something like that. 24-21, 27-24, I think, something like that. Can't remember. It's been 2 weeks now, but great time. It was just fun all around. That first night was wild with the shit that happened. Just all this drinking.
Mhm.
It was just wild.
Yeah.
all
we
the
played
guys-
bags.
So all the guys went outside and played cornhole,
Bags.
and the 4 women. So it was 4 and 4. Yeah, it's cornhole. You can fuck yourself. Also, the bags we were playing with were filled with corn. So cornhole. The guys all went outside, played cornhole. The women were inside. We all met back up outside while we were still playing cornhole, and it was just a wild
Mhm.
time. We went inside, played a round.
Side note: I've had all 6 jello shots, so we'll see how this hits.
I got my retainer taken out finally.
Didn't know you had one.
Yeah.
So I had a permanent retainer in my bottom teeth, and let me tell you, trying to get that motherfucker taken out was the worst process of ever.
Processes.
Yeah, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So a while back, I was eating something, and I felt a pop, and I don't know what that was, and I kept trying to figure it out and couldn't figure it out. And then one day, with the retainer, it's permanent, so you can't really like floss. So I usually only flossed once a month for my bottom teeth. So I go to floss. There's a special kind of floss to get it under the retainer and go. And as I was flossing, I all of a sudden noticed that my
You
retainer.
started dabbing.
No, my retainer is sticking straight up.
You stumbled your way into Fortnite.
I was pulling my retainer up. So I.
For audio listeners, I just dabbed. So
Quite loudly, shockingly.
I was like, well, I guess I need to get that fixed. It took me 3 weeks to end up just going to my old orthodontist, but my old orthodontist is an hour and a half away from my house, so it was going to be a pain in the ass anyway. But no orthodontist would take me. They wanted to look at it first and then schedule an appointment for me to come in and get it removed. And at least I was like, fine, I'll drive the hour and a half to my own orthodontist that I used to go to when I was a kid, because I haven't been to the orthodontist in 10 years, to just get the fucker removed. And then I was like, well, I haven't been to the dentist in 6 years, so I should probably do that too. And I like how both of you are looking the exact same direction. So I knew I had some plaque buildup, so I was like, I better fucking go. But my work was trying to convince me to work 6 days a week. So I was like, so I really only have the one day that I have to ask off to get my retainer out to go to the dentist. And the dentist I used to go to isn't open on Fridays. So I was like, well, shit. So it took me, I called 37 dentists in the area to find a dentist that was not only open on a Friday, but would take me in and clean my teeth all in the same day. So that day finally comes. I go to the orthodontist. They told me to plan for an hour. I was there 15 minutes. She just pops the fucker off and went on my way. I was like, cool. The dentist told me to show up 30 minutes early for my appointment to fill out paperwork. So I show up 40 minutes early, and they have the sign, please text this number when you get here. We will let you know when we're ready for you. Okay, cool. So I text them. My appointment was for 11. I text them at 10:19. At 11:15, I call them, and I was like, hey, my appointment started 15 minutes ago. Did you get my text that I got here? And I hear click, click, click. Oh yeah, we got your text. Have you filled out any of the paperwork yet? What paperwork? Oh, we sent you paperwork. When? Oh, it will have been with the texts. What? And they're like, oh, because we didn't see your text, we didn't send you the paperwork. Nick's reaction is exactly my what I was like.
No, it adds up to be dumb as shit.
And I was like, okay. So they text me the paperwork. So they're like, fill that out, and then when we get to everything from you, we'll tell you to come in. So not only had I sat there for a full hour, that they didn't see that I had texted them. Now I'm filling out paperwork. That was the reason I got there early. And now it's past my appointment time. So I'm filling out the paperwork. It's 4 separate links to 4 different things that I have to fill out. I fill out one, and then I get the text, please, like, we're ready for you, please come in. So I'm like, okay. And I walk in, and they're like, sister, did you fill out all the paperwork? I'm like, well, I filled out the one link. And she's like, why didn't you fill out all of it? Because you just text me to come in. You see you see when I send them to you, you see I sent you one, and then you told me to come in. Well, I need you to fill out all of them. Yeah, I know. I know this information. Thank you. The lady was a right bitch. Fuck. And so she's like, well, you're gonna have to sit there until you finish filling them out. Yeah, I kind of fucking figured that. So I sit there and I'm filling this out. I had already given them my insurance information and everything when I made the appointment. But she is like, well, like, give me your insurance and your ID and I'll start filling out stuff. Okay, cool. I sit there. She hands me back my insurance and license. I finish filling out the forms. I wait for another 30 minutes. And then she goes, hey, Adam, I need you to come up here really quick. I go up there and she's like, hey, so by the way, we don't accept your insurance. You mean the insurance I gave you 3 weeks ago when I made the appointment that you could have told me then? Because it was like something simple. Like all they had to do was punch in the numbers and it would have told them that they didn't accept my insurance. And I was like, so why didn't you tell me this 3 weeks ago when I made the appointment? Because now I have a fucking line of plaque because I had a retainer in that. So now I have like that big divot on my back of my teeth of where plaque is built up because I haven't been here in fucking 6 years. Like, what the fuck? She's like, oh, well, do you want to pay the $200 it's going to cost to clean your teeth today? Because it's $100 new patient fee. And then $90 to get your teeth cleaned and x-rayed and shit like that. I was like, do I really have another choice since today's my only day off work and you didn't tell me this 3 weeks ago? Well, then I guess not. That's literally what she said to me. I was like, cool. So I guess I'm going to have to fucking pay this $200, aren't I? Probably. I wanted to fucking beat the living shit out of this woman. And literally, I turn around and I'm not even sitting down yet. And I get called to the back. Like, so she waited until right before I got called to the back to tell me that my insurance wasn't accepted.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to dental, it's the shittiest experiment.
So
Well, All-Star Dental, I'd like to point out, All-Star Dental as a company, awful. All-Star Dental in Aurora, Illinois, you can go to hell. The black-haired receptionist is words that I'm not going to say in the podcast because I'm not going to get canceled. But you're the worst human being I've ever met. And thank God I called my insurance company as I was leaving the dentist. And they were like, actually, we cover everything. Even if they say that you're not covered, we cover it because I have insurance through a medical field. My mom works in the medical profession and I'm still on her insurance with her. So we get everything. And they're like, so there's no reason that they should have not taken your insurance. So my insurance company is now legally following up with All-Star Dental because what All-Star Dental has done was not legal. And so my insurance company's sent me a check and is taking care of it for me.
So I'm supposed to have my surgery Friday. And
surgery for what? No, we haven't talked about this on the podcast yet.
All right. So I'm supposed to have my surgery Friday I'm having a bone spur removed from my toe that's impeded walking, it's impeded squatting, range of motion. It sucks. It's been there for years. It's fucked up my ankle because I've had to compensate for it. It sucks. So what they're doing is they're going in, taking an angle grinder to my fucking toe joint and just and that's supposed to happen this Friday. I've been trying for the past 2 weeks to get a hold of my general practitioner to have a physical done because I need to have a physical done. And finally I get a hold of I stopped trying to call the office and I just call the Union Health Service. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of my doctor. Oh, your doctor no longer works there. Okay. Still need a physical. All right. Best we can do is October 14th. All right. Well, my fucking surgery is October 1st. So no. All right. Contact the people doing the surgery. They'll talk to us and then we'll get you in. Cool. I then finally get a hold of the people who are doing the surgery. All right. Instead, we're going to put you in touch with our general practitioners and we'll get you in there. So an hour on the hold and trying to get a hold of people. I finally get a hold of them. We can't fit you in until February. Even if you had insurance, we get accepted. All right. Can I pay out of pocket? No, because if you have insurance, we can't accept it out of pocket. Excuse me? So that's not going to work. And then I call them and they're like, all right, well, we're going to have to postpone your surgery until you can get a physical. That's not going to work because I've literally spent the past 2 months organizing shit at work to have shifts covered. And it's been hell doing so. So that's not going to work. So I now have tomorrow essentially to get a physical done. So I'm going to be calling essentially a fucking walk-in clinic to see if a doctor there will give me a physical. And if they can't, I'm going to go into the Union Health doctor's office and basically make a big stink until someone grabs my balls and tells me I'm healthy. So that's where I'm at. And if neither of those work, then fuck. Basically, the union fucked me so hard because over 2 weeks, they never responded to my phone calls.
Oh my God, insurance in the U.S. fucking sucks.
I don't blame insurance in the U.S. I blame my union.
I mean,
personally,
I will say both sucks, but
hey, I went to them. I'll give you $200. Just fucking grab my balls and tell me I'm healthy.
My insurance apparently doesn't cover COVID deaths. You know how wild that is during a pandemic.
So Morgan just went to the Harry Styles concert. The concert was requiring you show proof of vaccination or proof of a negative COVID test that was within the time limit of acceptance. And Morgan hasn't been vaccinated yet because she hasn't really had a need to. She's worked from home. So she just hasn't left the house. So she's not gotten vaccinated yet and needed to go get tested to make sure she could go to the concert. And she was like, yeah, I made this appointment and it's going to cost me like $150 to get my COVID test. And I was like, baby, go to Walgreens or Walmart. Either of them do free COVID tests. And she was like, well, I just went where my insurance told me to go. And I was like, yeah, and they're trying to get money out of you. Go to Walgreens or Walmart.
I literally scheduled mine with Walgreens the day of, and it was like 2 hours after I scheduled it, did it. I got my results within 24 hours.
But yeah, I was like, why are you going to pay for the COVID test? Because it's free. It's one of the few nice things that our country has done for us is give us free COVID tests and you're paying for them.
As long as it's not rapid, yeah.
Yeah.
If you do rapid, you have to pay for it if your insurance doesn't count for it.
Well, at that point, you're paying for people's time and energy, not necessarily the test itself. So
yeah. Speaking
of driving to concerts, I drive and sometimes I take the highway. Wild. These are segues. These are segues.
No, segues are two-wheeled things.
So, while back, so right when I moved, just happened. So I had an Easy Pass. I lived on the East Coast, got an Easy Pass. Easy Pass, for those who don't know, is an iPass from Illinois, but for everywhere. It's for everywhere because every other state decided to work together, and Illinois needs to be special because Illinois fucking sucks.
Sure iPass works.
iPass and Easy Pass both work everywhere, but Illinois is specific, is made by Illinois, and Easy Pass is a nationwide company.
I thought it was only East Coast.
It's now out on the West Coast. It's in Arizona and stuff like that. It's only in a few states because tolls are mostly East Coast and Midwest, but literally Easy Passes for everywhere.
So I have So I don't have an Easy Pass, but Easy Pass is in Indiana, but only in like the northwest suburbs.
So I had an Easy Pass because I lived in Connecticut for a while. I have kept the Easy Pass because I've had no reason to not keep my Easy Pass. Right before I moved, I got a letter from Easy Pass. So Easy Pass does this thing to make sure that your credit card is up to date. Every year they send you a thing asking you to go on their website and update. They delete your credit card information. You go on their website, reinsert credit card information, or you can fill it out on this letter and send it back. It's just their way of keeping track of everything. And while your account stays open, so you can keep using tolls and go into a negative balance. And when you fill out your credit card information, it will replenish your balance. Like, it doesn't charge you more for going over your balance for that time frame because they understand that it's their fault, kind of. Well, I not only did I need to put my credit card information, and I also moved, which changed my address, and it was this whole big thing where Easy Pass was charging me, and I replenished my Easy Pass account, and everything was good and solid. iPass, for some reason, wasn't accepting the money that I was paying, and they kept saying that I was continually going into a negative balance.
Hold on, which one was saying that you were going negative?
I mean, both, but iPass was saying I was still going in negative balance, even though I replenished my account on Easy Pass.
So iPass recently, so within 2 months of when this gets released, 2 months-ish, when I got my new vehicle, I got a new iPass and I put it in, and it was saying I was using my old vehicle's iPass for some reason, just because I think they ran my plates and understood that both my vehicles were under my name and only my name.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried saying that I was using my old vehicle's iPass when I literally got a new one. And then when we sent an email to them saying like that's not possible, they were like, oh, the battery's probably just dead. We literally pried open the iPass and there's no batteries in it.
Yeah,
like, there's no way of putting in a new battery. Like,
I
popped it open and we destroyed it.
I don't understand. Yeah, so yes, my Easy Pass account went negative, but I fixed it with Easy Pass, and iPass wasn't registering that I had fixed it and wasn't accepting the tolls that I was paying for because Easy Pass was charging me for the tolls, and iPass was like, "You're not paying for them." And so I got over $150 bill from iPass telling me that they were going to take me to court if I didn't pay this. And I was like, literally, it took me 3 weeks to get proof that I've been paying for my tolls, send it to them, and they say, well, we'll remove the tolls, but you still have to pay for all the fines for not paying the tolls. And I'm like, I literally gave you proof. And they're like, it's not good enough. And I was like, how long is it going to take you for you to take me to court? Because I'll just fight it in court. Like, I literally have proof. And Easy Pass is on my side because the person I talked to on the phone with Easy Pass said that iPass was a bunch of dumb pieces of shit on the phone to me, and that they've reached out to iPass many times to try and like make their systems work together better. And Illinois Tollway has never responded. Sounds like something Illinois would do.
100%. It's
and
awful.
Easy Pass has been trying to work with Illinois Tollway, and Illinois Tollway just doesn't respond. And so I was like, what the actual fuck is this bullshit? So I was like, how long until you take me to court? And they're like, well, it's probably going to be a couple years. And I was like, at this point, like they took away about half of the tolls, like half the cost of what they claimed I owed. And I was not taking tolls anymore, and hockey season was coming up. So I was like, I kind of have to take tolls for hockey. I can't not take tolls to travel from state to state and stuff like that. So I ended up just saying, screw it, and paid the remainder of my Illinois Tollway bill. And because I just wanted to get an iPass, was really what I was waiting for, was for them to stop charging me this excess money and let me just get an iPass finally. Because at least for them, it's an auto thing. Like I never have to think about it again unless I cancel my credit card or it expires or something. But yeah, I was so pissed. And so now I have not only paid about $75 worth of tolls that I had to pay again, but I have $22 and change on an Easy Pass account that I can't use anymore because I live in Illinois.
Yeah, no, that fucking adds up. The toll systems fucking suck, dude.
It's not even like I don't even mind the toll systems. Illinois Tollway fucking sucks. And I wish that when I asked when they would take me to court, I wish it was sooner rather than in a couple years. Because they essentially wanted me to rack up as much money as I possibly could for them to take me to court. And they weren't going to take me to court over $75 after they had already given me half of that off. It was kind of like I sit and never take tolls again. I keep racking up tolls and continue to fight with Illinois Tollway, or I just pay them. Stupid. Fuck Illinois. Worst state in America. We got about 15 more minutes left to fill.
You guys want to talk about depression for like 15 minutes real quick?
I'm good, dog.
No, we'll talk about it. All right, let's go into it. Just I don't know.
Seasonal's fun. This is my favorite kind. Seasonal spicy.
Yeah, I'm glad you only have it seasonally.
Yeah. Well, I know it's real fun seasonal on top of every day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is rough as fuck.
I'm at that point where like
I'm getting
the other day it was like 60 degrees and cloudy. And like I was having a good day at work, and then I get off work and I sit in my car and I'm like, oh God.
So weirdly, it really hits me on those cold days, but not cold enough to have the heat on in your car. But also because I have bad allergies and some breathing troubles, I have to have AC on at all times, or else I can't. Like the air just gets too humid.
Yeah.
So it's cold and it's not cold enough to have heat on, but it's cold enough that when AC is on, I want to kill people.
So I will drive to work nowadays with my AC on, and I leave for work at around 6 a.m. now with my new job, and I turn on my AC at max blast, just AC, cold as it can fucking go, driving there, but also like I'll randomly switch it to hot and only put it on my defrost so my fucking windshield isn't fogged the entire way. But like I need to be cold. Like it's just like a depression thing. Like I need to be encompassed by cold to be
I don't
warm.
like
it's
being
weird.
cold. I hate being cold, but it's literally like the air is just too humid without AC. And I can't breathe.
I just need to be cold. I just need it.
It's rough. Last week was rough where like I hated it when I'd wake up and it's 42 degrees and I leave work and it's 80.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that's it's a rough time in the Midwest at that point of the year.
We just entered second summer right now.
Yeah.
We had fake winter already and now we're on second summer.
Then we'll go to fall for literally 2 days.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into full-blown winter.
Yeah, no, I fucking
yesterday I came home because I had to get tested for COVID because I was with Dirk, and Dirk had to go get COVID tested, and I was with him this past weekend. We'll talk about that on PP if you all fucking tune in. And
we already talked about it on PP if you all tuned.
Yeah. But so I had to go get tested, and so I had to leave work at like 10 when he told me he was getting tested. So I left work, got tested at like 3:30, 3:45-ish, somewhere in there. And it was just like, I came home, had to work from home. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. This whole COVID thing fucking sucks to break it all down.
I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, I'm so fucking done.
It
sucks. I feel fine. I felt fine. It's just the fact that I was around someone who felt slightly cold, like had cold symptoms. Dirk is tested negative. I got my test results back. It was negative. It's like I didn't miss work. I got to work from home, luckily, because of my new job. I'm not a security guard, which, if you're wondering, you cannot do working from home. Wild that's not a thing.
I
But-
wish.
My job could literally be done with a scarecrow and an iPad.
But no, like, so I got to come home and still work at least, but it was just, I had to do that, and everything fucking sucks. Depression sucks. Everything sucks. I don't even know what my original point was. I'm just sad. The more I think about it, I'm just, what was my original point? Someone tell me so I
I
can
don't
finish
know. Depression?
it. Was it? I mean, yeah, we've been talking about depression, but I don't know where I was going with this.
No, I just suffer from random spouts of the big sad, and then
Yeah.
seasonal comes and slaps me on the
So
balls.
I was talking to a friend of ours recently about this, how it sucks when we all go through our random spouts because they're either all timed together or no one knows who's when another person's is. And it's like we're all so caught up in our own depression that we just want everyone else to fuck off.
Yeah.
But when we catch up in something, we're like, I need to talk to someone. It's like, I don't know who I'm supposed to talk to because I don't know who the fuck's depressed right now and who's okay with dealing with someone else's human fucking problems.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So it's
Ah!
it's nice for us because most of the time, Jeff and I alternate months.
yeah, that's
Jeff
very
and
true.
I usually alternate.
And it's not
months.
like it's not like a plan thing. It's not like
Yeah.
one of us chooses that one. It's just how our depression works.
Yeah.
It's just my depression comes from brain injuries. I was never really depressed beforehand, and I got a brain injury, and I now have anxiety and depression, like in ways they interlap. It's anyone who has mental illness, who is basically everyone who lives nowadays, like you kind of understand it, like they overlap. But like it's weird for me because I don't know how to deal with things and how to talk to people about it because I got mine so late in my life and out of nowhere. Like I was a very normal human being, and then I got a brain injury, and I can't deal with things without having anxiety anymore.
It's
That
great.
I don't know how
Good
to
time.
talk to people about anxiety or depression. It's like I don't know when is an okay time if people are willing to. I don't know how to bring it up. It's just like I don't know how this is supposed to fucking work anymore.
As one of those people that's always had it, it's a great time because I got it from my mom had it, and depression can also be part of your genetics too. So I got
100%.
that.
It's so like as someone who also studies psychology in a way, it's very
I
brought up in
also
that.
have Asperger's, which is another cause of depression. On top of that, head injuries. And on top of that, I was a weird kid that was bullied a lot. So we got a lot of depression coming out of me.
It's just fucking life fucking sucks.
oh,
I don't know.
Hold on.
You know,
Morgan really found out a major factor of my like why I am the way I am. The other day, we had done laundry, and I think I told Nick this story.
No.
So we had done laundry. I folded my t-shirts and I stacked my t-shirts up on the bed. And she's like, why didn't you put them in a drawer? And I was like, I will. And then I proceeded to unload my entire t-shirt drawer to rotate my t-shirts in. And because I have a lot of t-shirts. And she was like, why the fuck are you doing this? And like, what's the purpose of this? Just put them in there. And I was like, no, here's the thing. One time when I was in elementary school, I had 2 t-shirts. They had the same screen print on them, but they were still like one was solid black and one was like swirly red and black. Same screen print though. I wore the shirts one after another and then was made fun of for the rest of the school year that I was dirty, didn't shower, didn't wash my clothes, and was just a dirty human being for the whole rest of the school year. And so I'm like, so even I have to rotate,
yeah.
I have to rotate my clothes, and I also make sure I don't wear like we went to Western. We have a lot of purple shirts, I'm assuming. I try not to wear 2 black shirts, like one after another. Purple shirt. I try not to wear the same color 2 days in a row. I try to make sure like at least the theme
Oh,
of
I
my
did
shirts
that.
changes. and she's like, you are literally an adult. How long ago was this? And I was like, 15 years ago. And she's like, and why haven't you gotten over it? I'm like, because that's called childhood trauma. And I have to do this now.
So
This was how I survived the rest of my schooling career, to make sure I didn't get made fun of for being a smelly, dirty, gross human being who wears the same clothes every day, because I wore 2 different shirts that looked similar.
So I kind of have the same ish. It's different, but it kind of falls in the same category. I have the same way of how I feel about my body. So throughout junior high and partially through high school I was always really too thin. And ever since I started dating Kristen, I was like very overweight. I'm under that weight now, but I'm still not what could be considered a good weight for my height.
I would say you're husky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you're overweight, but you are husky.
I'm a husky man, but I also look like the type of human being that you wouldn't want to just fuck with for no reason. But so I think Kristen kind of got this aspect recently, because for the past month-ish, I've been working out regularly, like 3 to 4 days a week at least. And it's like, she asked me, like, why are you so into this? Why do you feel like you have to hit a certain weight? And it's like, I don't think you understand how much of my life I was so underweight, and now I am so overweight from what I should have been in the first place. And it's like, it's that weird aspect of like just general society assuming what you should be and then what you put in your own mind. It's like, yeah, no, that's what I should be. And it's like, that's what I have to do. That's what I need to be. It's what would be generally accepted. But at the same time, with depression and anxiety, I'm a very weird person when it comes to anxiety and depression. I'm very, very, very self-aware of my depression and anxiety, because I didn't always have it. So I know when I get it, and I know what I need to do against it, because I've gone through a lot of therapy since I got it. And it's a very weird aspect of, I get into my depression, but at the same time, I'm like, this is what I need to do, what I need to do to get out of it. And this is how I should feel. And I put that so hard on myself that I get into these weird internal conflicts where I don't want to talk to anyone, because it's just a constant battle between myself of, this is who I am now, and this is who I think I should be. But also I know the weird aspect in between of how to deal with it like in a healthy way, and then throw the healthy way away at some point and just deal with it in any way I can.
I've been struggling because I just upsized all of my pants.
Yeah, that's the rough part. I know it. I get it. I know it. The upsizing pants is a very rough aspect, especially because I don't buy my own pants anymore. So when Kristen asked me, she's like, yeah, I know, because you buy them through my fucking fiance. When she's like, okay, you need new jeans, what do you need? And I'm like, when I switched from 34 to 36 I was like, I need 36s, because I blow out the waist and the fucking thighs of my 34s. And now I blow out the thighs of my 34s just because I have thunder thighs. And I'm like, but my waist is still too small for 36s. And I'm like, this is fucking garbage. Like, this is stupid.
Well,
I can't wait to get back into the gym.
So I can only get to the gym 1 or maybe 2 times a week right now. And I like just started going again this week, and I'm happy with my weight. I'm like 205 right now, which is a huge deal for me, because I just passed 200 pounds for the first time in my entire life recently.
As someone who was supposed to be over 200 pounds for a long portion of their life, because they were 6'4" since like 8th grade, I get it. But I also hit it a while ago.
I didn't hit 100 pounds until after 8th grade. I was literally 95 pounds in 8th grade. I'm just like skinny. Like, I am a skeleton. That's just my body type.
And I want to die.
The thing about me is I've always had the body type to carry the amount of weight I have.
So Jeff, you're fat. You're like, even though you're larger, it doesn't.
I'm proportionally sized. Yes.
For me, I carry all my weight as a beer gut, and the rest of my body has stayed skinny. So it is like, I look like, like a gremlin Like
It's because I gained muscle in the right spots early on.
well
That when I gain weight now, it all goes into the right spots.
I mean, I worked out a lot when I was growing up. I don't gain muscle. I get more defined, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I will never
So,
get bigger.
that's
I
a huge-
just become more ripped looking. And
yeah.
so right now it's a struggle because I have this fat gut and I wear clothes that hide it well.
Conditioning.
But
Conditioning is the only way to get away of
That's-
stomach fat.
here's
and it
my
sucks
biggest
'cause
issue.
as someone who doesn't like conditioning.
Well, I don't mind conditioning, but remember, you're talking to someone who played goalie for many years and is lucky that they still have both their knees left. Because by the age I am right now, I was told I would have 2 brand new.
There you go,
knees.
listeners. This has been a fucking depressing, weird episode, but there's your comedy. It wasn't even comedy. Fuck you. I fucking done with this fucking shit.
Nick, make a joke.
Nick, do it funny.
Be funny, monkey boy.
Have you guys ever heard of
Nick with anyone he has sex with.
Never heard of that. Thanks everyone for listening to the podcast.
I quit. You guys will have a new
Well, you'll see him next Drunken Jurors, which will be next episode.
Thanks
Gonna make
everyone
a
for
night
listening
here.
to the podcast. In the description is our link to our link tree where you can find all of our social media links. The very first link goes to our Patreon. On our Patreon, you can subscribe at $1 level per month, and that gives you the Taskmaster special, a bunch of extra fun content, and you get added to our Discord. After that, the $3 level, you get unedited video versions of the podcast. And on this podcast that you're listening to right now, oh boy, I made a funny right at the beginning of the episode that is 100% getting cut. It's been cut from the audio version, so it's in the video version. Check it out, motherfuckers. Thanks so much for listening. Nick's not here to say the thing I always cut out when I edit the podcast.
I'm gonna hit on something serious, and then hopefully while I'm talking about that, I'll come up with something funny, but I probably won't. Something serious. If you want us to go into a literal hardcore topic like we have, with depression and anxiety, let us know. I think we can do it. It'll be rough, but I think we can go into that type of a thing where we just talk about it personally and release it to the general public. I think it's something we're all still struggling with very hard randomly because it's depression and anxiety. It just shows up whenever. I think it's something we can hit on though and talk about and maybe give other people relief knowing how other people's depression and anxiety works. And if you want that, let us know. Leave it in comments, whatever, like the episode, listen to the episode for one. Really fucking helps because you have to get to this to fucking understand. But I think it's something we can
rate
hit
and
on.
review the podcast if you're on Apple Podcasts. Give us some stars. Give us some reviews.
Make it a funny. Accept it as a fucking plug so I can do the
pride
funny.
in ruining all of your
Danny
lives.
DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Nick. is
Nick,
the
I
Danny
need
DeVito
something. You gotta say
trajectory
something.
by
Say it
Arnold
over Adam.
Schwarzenegger.
Fuck.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
This is already worse. Nick's ass crack is the source of my depression, though. There's your funny.
Ow.
Oh God. God, no. I don't want to get here anymore.
Let's see.